With me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to this Louie T Network exclusive, coming at you with my money picks of the week. Week number 6 in the National Football League. Off to a good start. Thursday Night Football. That was an easy one. It was a layup. I don't want to, brag about getting the Chiefs right over the Denver Broncos. Okay, I was 0 for the last 2 weeks, so it just feels good to get back in the win column on a Thursday. Get this week off started on the right foot. So, with that said, wasn't able to get you a podcast on Friday. This is getting out of hand. So hopefully next week we'll snap this nasty streak that we're on of like 5 or 6 weeks straight of no Friday podcast, and I can get back to business as usual. But in the absence of the podcast, I'm going to give you my picks here and make sure you know where I stand for the week 6 action coming up on Sunday and Monday. So I got to get on my horse, man. I'm steadily losing ground in winners and losers, and I know it's still early, right? We still got 12 weeks of ball left. Plenty of time to make up ground. But I feel like I need to start making some power moves. So this is, to me, an easy week. But there are going to be 2 or 3 games that swing it one way or the other. Like, it's going to be hard. It's 15 games this week, so 2 teams on a bye. I kind of feel like 11-4, 10-5 is going to be the standard this week. Probably 12-3. Somebody might even have 13-2. I think it's that kind of a week, right? That said, there are going to be 3 games that I feel like are going to end up being pivotal, that are going to swing the pendulum of, the number one way or the other. 1 or 2 contests go this way or that way, and that's the difference between you being 12-3 or 10-5. So, and I think that's right where I'm going to be this week, and we'll see if these picks go my way. Anyhow, let's jump into it. So I already got Kansas City correct. So we go to Sunday, and you start with the last game in the London series. So we're overseas international. They're at Tottenham Stadium, or I think it's Tottenham Stadium. Baltimore Ravens and Tennessee Titans. This is one of those games right here. Like, I'm pretty sure most people pick Baltimore, but the Ravens have been tripping, right? And the Titans, they're weird because when they're at home, they're a much better team than when they're on the road. When they're on the road this year in particular, they've just been awful. But this game is technically a home game for them. You really don't know what to expect. The Ravens have been tripping on offense. I mean, everything you can imagine with them dropping passes, turning over the football, leaving tons of opportunities and points on the field. And so I really don't know what to make. And they've been extremely banged up this season. Injuries galore. They're getting healthier. They're getting guys back. They're the better team. They should win this game, but they're so hard to trust. But I trust them more than I trust Tennessee, and that's what it really ultimately boils down to. Is if they shut down Derrick Henry and force Ryan Tannehill to beat them, they should be in the driver's seat here. But if they let Derrick Henry get off, they're going to lose this football game. It's really simple for me. If the Titans have any run game, whether it's Derrick Henry or Tajay Spears to speak of, and it's consistent throughout the game, the Ravens will lose. If the Titans have to rely on Ryan Tannehill, then the Ravens have the edge. And that's what I'm banking on, is that they're going to slow down the run game, force Tannehill to beat them, and I think they're going to get it done. Give me the Baltimore Ravens overseas to get it done to kick off Sunday's action. Carolina at Miami, this is easy. I'm not going to waste a ton of time here. The Panthers are the worst team statistically in the NFL. They're the only team to have not won a football game this season. And I don't know when they're going to win a game. Their coach posted a hostage video today or this week. And so there's a lot going on in Carolina right now. There's no Miles Sanders in this game, so heavy workload for Chuba Hubbard. But it really boils down to, can Bryce Young protect the football? Can he get the ball to playmakers, the little that they do have? And, just don't turn it over. Don't beat yourself. They just haven't been able to do that this season. It's the Dolphins. Like, what more do I need to say? Miami's going to crush these dudes and get to 5-1 on the season. I'll take the Dolphins in that one. Saints, Houston. This is one of those coin flip games that I'm talking about. That's going to end up pushing you one way or the other. The Texans have been exceptional this season at home in particular. Even the game they lost to Indianapolis, I think C.J. Stroud threw for over 300 yards in that game as well. They fought, after falling down early in that game, made it interesting before Indianapolis pulled away. But then we saw what they were able to do on the road at Jacksonville. Then coming back home and what they did to the Steelers, dismantling them. They fell short on the road at Atlanta, but by game-winning field goal as time expired. This Texans team is tough, and the Saints went to New England last week and got right. But are they truly right is the question. I'm not sure. I don't know about this one. My gut says that the Saints are going to take care of the Texans. Like, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. The Texans aren't that good. Not yet, at least. But they're better than we expected. That entire division right now is better than what we expected, that AFC South. I think every team in that division is 2-2 or better, if I'm not mistaken. So, well, not 2-2. We've played 5 games. Everybody in that division has won at least 2 games. I'll say that. I think everybody's 2-3, and Jacksonville's 3-2. Or excuse me, Indy's 3-2 as well. So, and then the other 2 teams are 2-3, which is not what we thought the Texans would be at this point. But that said, I still think New Orleans is the better team, and if they can stay away from turnovers, because that Texans defense is starting to howl. Like, it took a while for them to start playing the kind of football that I thought they were going to play under DeMeco Ryans' company, but now they're starting to fly around. Now they're starting to generate turnovers. C.J. Stroud has gotten into a really good rhythm. I don't know if Tank Dell is playing in this game or not. I know he left last week with a concussion. Generally, if you leave a game with a concussion, you don't play the following week. But he's young, and I don't think that has anything to do with a concussion, honestly. They vary in severity, and generally, when a guy has a concussion, he's out for at least a game. So I don't like the Texans in this one. I'll take New Orleans. I think they're going to start to maybe hit a little bit of a streak now that Alvin Kamara is really back in the saddle now, and I think he's getting comfortable. I think that the Saints are going to start to roll and play better ball. Give me the Saints on the road to take care of Houston. Washington and Atlanta. I'll save that one for my show. You want to see my prediction, go to CNN episode 6.5, and you'll see my prediction for that game. Indy at Jacksonville. This is another one, family business. You know how that goes. This was a really good game in week number 1. Jacksonville was on the ropes, and Indy let them off the hook. We saw that Jacksonville is beatable at home. Houston went to Jacksonville and smoked them. They've been over in London the last 2 weeks. Wonder if there's a jet lag effect coming back to the States. They've been over there for 2 weeks. So, I don't know. This is kind of interesting. And Indy's playing good ball. With the news that Anthony Richardson is going to be out for at least the next 4 weeks, being placed on IR, Gardner Minshew is playing. He has a really good grasp of this offense. He's played extremely well this year. In the 2 games that he's played extensively, they've won both of them. And so, I don't know, man. This is really interesting. We'll see what happens. I'm going to take Jacksonville. That was a big win on the road against Buffalo, or overseas against Buffalo. See if they can take that momentum, sweep the Indianapolis Colts, and create a little bit of distance between them and everybody else in the division. You sweep Indy, now you're up 2 games on them, even though it'd only be statistically 1 in the win-loss column. But having swept them, you win the tiebreaker. So this is a big game for Jacksonville and Indianapolis as well, if they have any prospects of winning the division. I'll take Jacksonville at home in this game to get it done. Seattle at Cincinnati. This is another one of those toss-up games that's going to help decide whether you go 12-3 or 10-5 or worse this week. This is a big one because I think this is going to be the one that's probably the most split on most sheets. That and probably Atlanta, Washington. I think are going to be two of the most split games in week 6, where you just have, this person has Washington, this person has Atlanta, this person has Atlanta, this person has Washington. Same with this game. This is tough because I still don't know if I trust Cincinnati after that one performance against Arizona. Seattle's coming off of a bye. Geno Smith, if you recall, had injured his ankle in that game, so he needed that bye week. I'm presuming that he's fine. He's going to be able to play. There's been a little bit of trash talk this week. DK Metcalf tweeted out that he expects his rookie corner, Devon Witherspoon, to shut down Jamar Chase. So Chase responded. So there's a little bit of that going on. I don't really care about any of that. What I care about is, does Joe Burrow have his swag back? It seemed that way against Arizona in week 5. One can only hope that that is in fact the case. Only one way to find out. This is a much better Seattle Seahawks defense you're playing in this game than the one you just faced against Arizona. This game's in Cincinnati. I like the Bengals in this game. I wouldn't be shocked if Seattle went over there and scored 34 points and won. But give me Cincinnati at home to continue to right the ship. I was ready to count them out. I thought they were down and out. They proved me wrong last week. I'm going to roll with them this week and see if they're truly back or not. Give me Cincinnati. Minnesota at Chicago. Here's another toss-up game, right? Another game that I think most people are looking at, saying to themselves, all right, Bears won. They played well the last 2 weeks, coming off of a pseudo bye. Minnesota without Justin Jefferson for the foreseeable future. He's on IR. They've already said they're not going to rush him back. So he's not coming back until he's 100%. That could be 5-6 weeks from now. Who knows what the Vikings' record is by then? Who knows if the Vikings haven't already decided to pack things up and have a yard sale by then? Who knows? This is going to be a huge game in helping determine that, because their schedule really is doable the next 4 to 5 weeks. But you got to win games like this on the road against Chicago if you were to turn your season around. It's going to be hard to do it without Justin Jefferson. He's such a big part of their offense and what they do. He takes coverage away from them. He gives them light boxes. There's so much of an impact that he has. Now that's gone. And frankly, I don't know if there's any way to replace that. And you were already struggling with him in the lineup. I can't imagine you playing better without him in the lineup. The real question here is Chicago going to play well, or are they going to revert back to their early season struggles? That's really what it boils down to, because Minnesota's been turning the ball over at an alarming rate. There's no Justin Jefferson. They have every excuse to lose this game. The Bears, on the other hand, are playing better. This is an opportunity to win 2 straight. And again, your season doesn't have to be over. They've got a doable schedule as well. That entire division plays a relatively soft schedule. If you can just find a way to beat teams like Minnesota if you're Chicago, and if you can find a way to beat teams like Chicago if you're Minnesota, you can get your season turned around. Both of these teams are 1-4 and looking for that opportunity to get hot and turn it around. I want to go with the home team. You know how I feel. Generally speaking, when I don't know, just go with the home team. That's what I'm going to do here. I like what the Bears have been doing the last 2 weeks. Let's see if they can continue doing that. Give me Chicago in this AFC North family business matchup. San Francisco at Cleveland. I'll make this short and sweet. Before the bye week, we were all fooled and duped into thinking that Deshaun Watson was fine and he was going to play. He didn't play. The Ravens dominated them because they started a rookie quarterback in DTR. You fast forward 2 weeks, we all assumed, oh, he almost played. He was a game time decision, so he should be fine after the bye week, right? And now we find out Deshaun Watson's out again in this game. So something is amiss there. There's something they're not telling us. That shoulder injury is a lot worse than they're leading on. Doesn't really matter. They're starting P.J. Walker. Who cares? It could have been DTR. It could have been P.J. Walker. It could have been Josh Dobbs. It could have been whomever. They're not beating the San Francisco 49ers. If Deshaun Watson was starting, they probably weren't going to beat the 49ers. Now, without him, they don't stand a chance. I got the 49ers remaining unbeaten in that football game. New England at the Vegas Raiders. It's a family reunion. Oh, it's a family reunion. So you got the old ball coach, Bill Belichick, going to Vegas to play against his understudy, Josh McDaniels. Both teams are struggling. Both coaches are struggling this season. McDaniels barely eked out a win on Monday night versus the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, it's been a struggle. That's an understatement. Belichick is on the struggle bus right now. Been outscored 72-3 in his last 2 ball games. Was shut out for the first time in I don't know how long. I can't remember the last time a Bill Belichick coach team didn't score a point. That said, he has stuck steadfast to Mac Jones. The miggity Mac. Bow the miggity Mac. Still going to start, even though he was abysmal and was benched for the 2nd consecutive week. This game has Patriots win written all over it. I swear that he's going to go in there, coach up some defense, get Jimmy Garoppolo to make a mistake. He knows Jimmy. He knows Jimmy's strengths, his weaknesses, and I could see them going in there and winning. But you haven't scored a touchdown in almost a month. I can't fool with you. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders. I hate doing that because I don't trust the Raiders. But give me the Raiders to get it done there. Detroit at Tampa Bay. This is one of the better matchups of week number 6 from a record standpoint. Bucks are coming off a bye. They're 3-1. Lions coming off of the destruction of the Carolina Panthers. They're 4-1. And so I don't know if there's another matchup featuring 2 one-loss teams rather in week 6. So this might be statistically the best matchup on paper from a record standpoint. That said, just really like what the Lions are doing. I think that there's more margin of error for them. They could turn it over once or twice and still win. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, turnovers are like a death sentence for them. They turn it over once, and that's the difference between them scoring 24 points and 17, right? They don't have a huge margin for error. They got to take care of the ball. They got to be smart. They got to, make field goals. Like, you got to do all the little things right because there is no margin of error for them. I just think the Bears are such a good team right now, or excuse me, the Lions are just such a good team right now, and I just see them forcing a turnover or 2 of, Baker Mayfield. I see them, making plays and forcing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of their comfort zone, sort of like the Eagles were able to do in week 3. I'll take the Lions on the road. I could easily see Tampa Bay winning this game if they're able to get into an offensive rhythm, dominate time of possession, take care of the football, maybe force a turnover or 2 from Jared Goff. They'll have a shot. But I think it's the Lions when it's all said and done. I'll take them on the road to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams. NFC West family business. You know how the family do it. I thought about this as my survivor pool pick. I like to stay away from family business because anything can happen. But no James Conner. I think Joshua Dobbs finally broke last week. He was behaving so well, right? And I think he finally broke last week. And now he's about to start cutting up and acting a fool. He was on his best behavior for as long as he could go. But even with that said, I don't trust the Rams. Matthew Stafford has not been super sharp this year. Clearly him and Cooper Kupp are still getting back on the same page. This feels like a game the Rams can, route them, get right, win 30-13. But I ain't fooling with them. I'll take the Rams in this game, but I'm not using them as my survivor pool pick. I'll pass, even though it was very tempting. Very, very tempting. I'll take the Rams to bounce back and win at home over the Arizona Cardinals. This is the game I decided to go with, and I'm regretting it because I didn't want to pick this game. I didn't, because I really feel like this is a trap game for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then learning the news of Darius Slay potentially being out along with their, stud rookie defensive tackle potentially missing this game as well, Jalen Carter. I got a bad feeling about this game. But here's what I do know. If the Eagles, and this is why not having Jalen Carter could be very costly, if the Eagles can stop Breece Hall, they're going to win this game easy, right? Because now it becomes the Zach Wilson show, and I think they can tee off on Zach Wilson and make him uncomfortable, make him turn it over and make mistakes. If Breece Hall gets off, it limits what Zach Wilson has to do, and all he has to do is manage the game, make a couple of throws here and there, use his legs, when required, and all of a sudden that defense is capable of keeping the Jets in the game, and he makes one or two plays, and all of a sudden it's just like the Chiefs game all over again. I'm nervous about this game, but I don't think they're the team that beats Philadelphia. And because of that, I'm going to roll with the Eagles to remain unbeaten and get me through to week 7, but I wouldn't be shocked if they lost this game. I don't think they're going to lose this game, though. And that's why I took them as my survivor pick. Sunday Night Football, Bills are going to beat the Giants. No Daniel Jones, no Andrew Thomas. We don't need to really discuss that game. Give me the Bills to bounce back from that ugly performance over in London. I think this could get ugly quick. Tyrod Taylor starting. The Bills fans are bloodthirsty. They're on Sunday Night Football. This doesn't happen for them very often. At home, no less. Yeah, I think this one's going to get ugly and ugly fast. Give me the Bills. So, those are my selections. The plan is to have a podcast Monday, but I'll just give you my pick for Monday night just in case we don't. So, this is probably the most compelling matchup of Week 6. Even though Lions-Bucks on paper is the best win-loss matchup on paper, I think this is the most entertaining. Cowboys at the Chargers on Monday Night Football. Justin Herbert and the Chargers are coming off of their bye week. After starting the season 0-2, they've rallied to win 2 straight. They're now 2-2. And the Cowboys, after starting the season 2-0, have lost 2 out of their last 3. And so they're 3-2, including the spanking that they received at the hands of the 49ers on Sunday Night Football last week. So they're looking for some revenge and some get back. Meanwhile, the Chargers are looking to validate the 2-game win streak and show everyone that they started slow, but they're ready to pick things up. So Khalil Mack, fresh off of a 6-sack performance versus the Raiders prior to the bye. We'll see what he's able to do. This is an interesting matchup because the Chargers have done a pretty good job of taking care of the football this year. Dallas has done a great job of taking it away. The Chargers have done a really good job of scoring points. The problem is they haven't stopped their opposition from scoring points very often, so they've gotten into shootouts, especially in the games that they've lost. They've been a little bit better the last couple of weeks against Minnesota and against the Raiders, but those are 2 opponents that are struggling, that have been prone to turning the football over. Last week was the first time Dallas really imploded and turned it over. So we'll see if they get back to being a little bit more, efficient offensively, conservative as they've been all season long. Dak, kind of, checking it down, spreading it around, but not really pushing it down the field. See if that Chargers defense will be able to bend but not break. The Cowboys have struggled in the red zone, as we know. And so it'll be really interesting if the Chargers are able to score touchdowns. Will the Cowboys be able to keep pace? Can that defense really harass and alter Justin Herbert? And that's going to be the key to victory to me, is you got to get to Justin Herbert. If you can't do that and he's able to pick you apart, it's going to be a long day for Dallas, because I don't think they can score a ton of points without involving special teams, defense, etc., etc. So I said all of that to say this. This is the kind of spot where Dallas usually steps up and wins. This is the kind of spot where they just got their ass kicked. They're foaming at the mouth. Chargers are coming off a bye. seems like they're the right side, but this is the kind of game Dallas steps up and finds a way to get it done. I'll take the Cowboys in this game on the road. It'll be a home game for Dallas. Their fans will show up in droves, take over that stadium, and turn it into a home game. And I expect them to feed off that energy and find a way to win. Give me the Dallas Cowboys. So those are my Week 6 money picks of the week. What's yours? Leave them down in the comment section. I need a good week, man. I think I got a shot. Those swing games. Dallas is another swing game, by the way. I think you're gonna have a lot of people on the Chargers side of things. You're gonna have a lot of people on the Dallas side. That's another one of those coin flip 50-50 games, along with Cincinnati and Seattle, Houston, New Orleans, Chicago, Minnesota. These are the games that are gonna, and Atlanta, Washington. Those are the 5 games I believe that are gonna swing the balance of this week's sheet one way or the other. One way or the other. But that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. Until next time, you guys have a good one. God bless and good night.